up, y'all?
I'm Ashton.
And I'm KP.
And you are watching the Inveheement Company Music Podcast, the show made by music enthusiasts.
For music enthusiasts.
That's right. Well, I'm glad to be back. You know, the last episode with Ray, that was absolutely amazing. Long episode, but we enjoyed every second of it. So just like that, we back, you know, and just like the Brothers Johnson said, ain't no stopping us now. We are on the move. So let's get it.
Yeah, make sure y'all check it out. We had a time during the episode. It's been we're just excited that he was on and he shared a wealth of knowledge. And so y'all go back, y'all go look, check it out.
Mm-hmm. And there's a part 2 coming up soon as well. So y'all be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely. We have so much to talk about today, so much to dive into. Starting with the Billboard Top 75 controversy.
Oh, yeah. So, me personally, I feel like there was, I'll say this. I'm glad they did Stevie Wonder a good service by putting him at number 1. Like, because in my opinion, like, he was the first R&B artist I've ever, like, became acquainted with. Because, like I said, my dad had me listening to For Your Love, driving me to kindergarten. So, yeah, Stevie, and then... And like we said, our Mount Rushmore of R&B artists, like, you can't leave Aretha Franklin out. She was at number 2.
Absolutely.
So MJ at number 3. But I heard somebody said if it was about just singing, period, that they felt Michael Jackson's spot was too high. I'm like, what? Because he was like, just no stage. Just give everybody a mic and tell me that MJ is going to be a top 5 singer. I'm like, well, I mean, this is artistry. This is art. It's subjective, you know. So
subjective,
like,
and I mean, but we're not gonna play Mike on the vocals though. Like, we really
not
are
at
not.
all.
If you go listen to his BGVs that he typically all did himself, if you listen to all the way going back to when he was with the Jackson 5, like, he was doing stuff at 9 years old that grown men still can't even do. Like, like, we're not gonna play with Mike's vocals. Like, we're just really not. He definitely deserved that spot for numerous reasons.
All right. But yeah, I'll say this. There were some artists who I felt should have been higher. Like, they had, I think they had like Bobby Brown at somewhere in the 50s. I felt like he should have been at least in the top 25.
I can agree.
Yeah, they had Anita Baker at number 31. She should have been in the top 10, in my opinion. You know, I don't know what that's about. And I was furious when they said Shaka Khan at 27. Like, what? Come on.
Shaka Khan at 27 is crazy, but I mean,
crazy work.
Crazy. And the same way you feel about Shaka is the same way I feel about Marvin Gaye. Even though Marvin made the top 10, to put him at number 10, I think was just really ridiculous. But you know, like, so everybody really had a lot to say about Beyonce beating out Whitney Houston, which was that was like a huge thing, which I can agree. I feel like, you know, Whitney definitely deserved a top 4 spot. Like, in my humble opinion, like, she is the voice. Like, she's the voice. She really is. And I mean, we're talking about numbers. She has the numbers. She has diamond records, all kinds of number 1 charting hits. Like, I mean, so we can not only talk about like the albums, the voice, we could talk about numbers, all of it, where I really feel like she deserved a top 4 spot.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely that. And then they had Luther at number 22. Like, he should have at least been in the top 15. Because if we're talking about Stevie, Aretha, MJ, again, Whitney Houston, Anita Baker, Shaka Khan, Marvin Gaye, R. Kelly, which I can agree with the number 9 spot for R. Kelly.
Period.
So I can agree
definitely
with that.
Agree. Yeah. So. Yeah, like, it was a lot. It was a lot to digest. If you're musically inclined in any way, it was a lot to digest. I know they had their own criteria on why they placed things the way that they did, but you know, Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, but like, and again, to my point, it's really all subjective. Like, and I know my stand on artists that should have been higher, artists that should have been lower. Not everybody's going to agree with that, and that's perfectly fine. So, which leads us, because me and Keisha have been talking about it. What's going to happen is we're going to put out a top 75 R&B groups blog. So
yeah,
be on the lookout for that. Like I've shared a list with Keisha, who I've had so far, and that list has actually grown since I've shared it with her. So yeah, we're going to talk more about it off camera. But yeah, the top 75, our version of the top 75 R&B groups. Now again, we get not everybody's going to agree with our top 10, top 25, or somebody's going to have some difference, or I mean, it's totally fine. It's just, how we feel about it. So
exactly. And that's the fun part, to have the chat about it, to have the discussion and the debate about music, about something we all seemingly are passionate about. So I love it, and get new perspectives and all of that. So yeah, y'all make sure to tap into that.
Yes.
It'll be coming soon.
Yes, and like I was saying, like with the back and forth conversation with everybody else, make sure y'all tap into that, because that's going to be a lot of fun, making that and coming up with that. May take a little while, because but because we do have to narrow it down to how we feel like the top 10. Because some of the bands that came to mind, I'm like, ooh, because I was thinking maybe this band should have been number 1, but then I thought, oh snap, I can't forget them. But
exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. And talking about like the blog and stuff, like we could just segue that into a new segment that we want to start posting on IG called Hit Send the Music Chat, where that's going to be basically talking about similar, like two artists with either a song that's like similar in the name and the lyrics, like Babyface, Soon As I Get Home, versus Faith Evans, Soon As I Get Home. Even though they're both similar in love songs, like they're both love songs, different lyrics, different, all of that. But it was just it was a really great debate is what it was. Like, everyone had their opinions. And when you think about it, it was just like, I forgot completely all about that song, Soon As I Get Home by Babyface. And then I had to go listen to it, like, oh my God, like I remember riding in the car listening to this music, like with my mama. So we really want to start a segment with that, and just get songs that are similar in that way, and just have a nice little debate about it. Which one did you like better, why, etc. So be on the lookout for that.
So to piggyback off that, I mean, I hate to be partial, but Faith Evans was one of my childhood crushes. So I mean, I'm probably on her side about that. And then actually, when I was playing with Jay Drew back in 2015, when I first started subbing for the drummer there, we actually did a show at SOB's in Manhattan, and Jay Drew opened up, and then Faith Evans was the headlining act. But wow. I'm actually sitting in rehearsals, and Faith Evans is singing Soon As I Get Home in the rehearsal. That was a part of the show. I'm like, yes, come on.
Yes, Faith. Like, you're not going to play with Faith. Like,
no, not at all.
Love her down. So yeah, that's going to be an amazing segment. So y'all just, stay tuned for that.
Oh yeah. And so, I mean, to piggyback off of that, I know off camera, you was talking about, Dolly Parton's version. I mean, which is kind of like the same thing. I Will Always Love You versus Whitney Houston's version, and all of that. And so, I'm gonna just say it. And I know there's gonna be some controversy. Nobody knew or nobody cared about Dolly Parton's original version of that song.
Nobody.
Whitney Houston came out with it, or Whitney Houston sang it, and then the song just blew up like out of nowhere.
Exactly. So, nobody knew about it. And I had that particular debate and conversation with a close friend that is also a musically inclined human. And he felt differently. He felt like, how can you say nobody cared about it? And I said, because nobody did. Nobody knew that song. He was like, that's not what the numbers say. No, that's what the numbers say. When you look at like, that's still one of the greatest, like, songs, charting songs of all time.
It's just the truth.
Those are just the facts. I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston is just one of the greatest songs of all time, and that just is, it is what it is.
Yeah, and to me, it's not at all a hit to Dolly Parton anyway. Because I'll say this, I was watching a Little Richard interview, and the same thing happened to him when he released Tutti Frutti, and then not too long after that, Elvis sang Tutti Frutti and sold more copies than Little Richard. And Little Richard said he wasn't upset about that at all. That was actually what opened the door for him, Little Richard. So
wow.
So that him, like Elvis taking Tutti Frutti, and then people going back and listening to Little Richard's version is what opened the door. And you know, he stopped working at that Greyhound in Macon, Georgia, and then moved to California. And then Little Richard is, you know, a music icon because of that. So
exactly. So there you have it.
The same as Dolly Parton too. Dolly Parton, like, there's no denying her great singing and artistry at all. I'm just saying Whitney Houston's version was just her version of that song was just better. I mean, come on,
it was just better.
Yeah,
and that's just it, and that's just all.
All right.
So yeah, talking about like greatest songs and just songs in general, we can talk about some recent releases.
Oh yeah,
that have come out in the month of June in the last couple of weeks. I know for me. My girl Malaya came out with a song that she wasn't even trying to release. She just kind of put a snippet on IG, and that thing blew up. So she's released it. It's called Dive, so you can get that wherever you listen to your music. Also, Jane Hancock came out with her second single from her upcoming album, and the single is called Can't Let Go. She is signed to Death Row Records, Snoop Dogg's record label. She is the first lady of that record label, so really great artist. Her first single was called Stingy. That came out April of this year. So now we have Can't Let Go, and it is bomb. So go check her out wherever you listen to your music.
Oh, yeah. I know for me, like, man, I know there's been some other new releases, but I know when I getting into, like, some music, other people can attest. I kind of get stuck on them for like a few weeks before I start listening to other stuff. So I think the thing, some of the more recent releases that I've been vibing to, of course, you know, Terrence Martin and Keon Dixon, the Come As You Are album. See You Later is my favorite song on that album.
Absolutely.
So Jan Hunter, he came out with Chill Tape Volume 4. Chill Ride, that's my favorite track on that. You know, I just love the lo-fi with
it's so
grand
good.
piano. Yes, it's so good, so chill. Like it's that the mood of that music is good for like any environment really. Like
exactly.
It's you know, so yeah, shout out to Jan Hunter. Kevin Ross, he has a song called Love in the Middle, which features Nico DeAndrea.
Yep.
It has that techno Afrobeat vibe to it, which I love. I've been like going down the rabbit hole with Afrobeat music. So
that's awesome.
So I'm it's just exciting just to see like a artist that I enjoy, like Kevin Ross, is actually making music in that feel. Yeah, in that vein. So, and then another one, her name is Nayo Yoshioka, from somewhere from either Korea or China, somewhere in Asia. I came hip to her when Devin Morrison was producing some tracks with her. So, I mean, not this particular song, but she has a song called You Never Know, which features Melody Charles.
Okay.
You know, I can appreciate this because, I mean, if you can imaginatively hear, you know, if Motown and doo-wop was actually like modernized, you know, with like, you know, new sounds and stuff like that. It's almost kind of like that, like, you know, Motown with a modern twist to it.
Right.
So yeah, that song is called You Never Know, featuring Melody Charles, Nayo Yoshioka. So those are some of the songs that I've been really like, you know, just vibing out to. So.
Wonderful. Yeah. So y'all go check out all of the new releases that we talk about, because every episode we try to give y'all a couple to go check out. So yeah, y'all check that out.
All right. So before we go, I do have to mention one more thing, if we have the time. So, all right. So one of my favorite recording artists by the name of YPJ. Shout out to YPJ. I think.
Shout out to YPJ.
Oh yeah. Not too long ago, you would shared a reel from his Instagram where he mentioned CCM music being boring.
Yep.
So I mean, I can agree with that to some extent. I mean, at least the boring part. I would say it's more something that I heard Deshaun Jones, well, former colleague of mine, he said is pretentious and lazy. I mean, I would be more on that side of the fence, just because, it's really throughout most CCM songs, it's the same 4-chord progression. And it does kind of get monotonous a bit. So yeah, which tends to be boring if you're not mixing it up a little bit. But I will say this though, I mean, we do have to give credit. So I will say a gentleman by the name of Amonte Lacey, a gospel artist who's from the state of Ohio. Shout out to Amonte Lacey.
Amonte, yeah.
He's probably most responsible for the CCM sound entering the black church, because if you listen to his early albums, it's that sound, the CCM, CCM influenced. And then we also have to give credit to one Aaron Lindsay from Elyria, another Ohio native. See, us Ohioans, we're responsible for a lot that goes on within music.
Absolutely.
Believe it or not. So his early days with Israel and New Breed, the albums like New Season, Real, and Live from Another Level, which a lot of those songs were CCM based, Lord, you are good and your mercy endure it forever. But he put some flavor in it. He put the urban contemporary sound that we were already familiar with from the Winans, the Clark Sisters Commission, Thomas Winfield, all those artists then. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the title cut from Alive in South Africa, that band intro, that's actually from a song called Getaway Jordan that was recorded by the TM Youth Mass Choir, which they released that album in like 92, 93, so, 90s gospel, that was it. So, so I guess my point is he was actually, he was involved in that field, but he was actually, taking elements of that urban contemporary sound into there. And exactly. I mean, for me, I don't necessarily mind CCM in the black church, but let's add on to that sound. Let's not just keep it what it is. Let's put our flavor on it.
Exactly. To speak to what you were saying with Israel, Amonte, all of them who did the early CCM, which I don't think that's, they didn't know they were doing that, but obviously that's what they did. But they stayed true to the roots of black gospel music. So when you were listening to it, you didn't feel like it was a different genre or anything like that. And I think, to go with YPJ, the reel that I shared, plus the reel he shared afterwards when they were talking about that, a lot of the issue too now is it's considered this new genre that they came up with, not that it wasn't, it stemmed from black gospel music, and that's what it is. So that's where I think the pretentious element of it can come in and all of that. They started it, and when that's just not the truth, it still stems from black church.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
for sure. Oh yeah. So yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. Yeah, that's and again, artists. Yeah, you could do CCM. Stay true to yourself. Don't go along to get along. Well, I saw a comment on Facebook to where there was this one CCM bass player. I forget his name. This was back in 2016, 2017. He actually had an issue with and this was a Caucasian guy. He actually had an issue with us blacks doing that, putting our twist and putting our sound in CCM music. I'm like, because I guess instrumentally speaking, because it's acoustic guitar, it's ballad snare, it's just a regular 4-chord progression. It's not any minor sevenths or minor ninths or anything like that. I guess he had a problem with people jazzing it up, but I mean, but that's our sound. That's what we know. So
exactly. Again, like I said, it all stems from black church, and that's the issue right there. Them thinking they have created this new genre of Christian gospel music, when that's just not the case.
Right. Because you can go back to BB and CC in the early '80s. that Lord lift us up where we belong.
Exactly.
That's all inspirational stuff. And I mean, there could be, but I don't know anybody that was doing that before them. You know,
I don't either.
Well, just like we mentioned earlier with Whitney Houston singing "I Will Always Love You." I didn't know that Dolly Parton recorded it first. You know,
a lot of people didn't.
But I mean, there could have been before BB and CC, but they really put that sound like on the map. Like everybody was doing that after, so, and they made a landmark with that. That's my point of that. So
true. And they got so much kickback from that too. Like even within our own community. Cause like, is it gospel or is it secular? What is it? You listen to the words and you can get church, but then you could also listen to the words and not be offended if you weren't in church. Right. They used to get a lot of kickback for it, but they were the innovate. Like they were one of the first, probably the first to do that.
But who one person actually validated them doing that music.
Who was it?
Whitney.
Oh, Whitney. Well, Whitney and the Winans, they was family to her. So always.
Shoot,
she was gonna stick beside them.
Yeah, period. Whitney Houston, she actually went on tour with BB and CC singing background.
While she had a #1 album on the chart.
While she had another one. Mm-hmm.
She never switched up. Shout out to Nippy, huh?
So Whitney Houston, she definitely validated BB and CC. So I'm forever grateful for that. Because. Especially my parents, because their wedding song was "I Owe You Me." So, we have to, we have to shout out Whitney for validating them, and then BB and CC for even sticking with it, and having the courage, because that music from the Winans, Marvin, Carvin, Michael, and Ronald, night and day. So shout out to BB and CC for giving us the inspirational sound.
Absolutely. It was the soundtrack to our 90s childhood. So
yes.
Shout out to them.
All right. I had to clean that up a little bit from the comment I made prior to that. So I think we're good now. I don't mean to offend anybody.
But listen, this is what it is. Mm-hmm. This is the opinions of the Heilman Company podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, we're all welcome to agree to disagree, etc. on this show.
Well, all right. So we're gonna call it on that note. And this was a much fun episode. A lot of technical difficulties, but we got through them all. So here we are. We made it to the end. So for all you out there, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for the next episode and in the future shorts that we will be uploading. And go follow us on Instagram because Please. It is Indie Artist Month. And so we have a lot of stuff that we'll be sharing on our story and on our posts, some reels. So just tap into that.
Yes, tap in. That information will be in our description box also. So yes, lots of fun things over there, interaction, all the things. So please, in between uploads from YouTube, follow us on Instagram for daily prompts and stories and reels and all the things.
All of that. All right. So, Heilman Company Music Podcast, the show made by music enthusiasts.
For music enthusiasts.
Y'all know what it is. Peace and love.
Catch y'all later.